All right, guys, so we got to talk about a pretty wild speech from Ilhan Omar that is going viral online that suggests that she could be a foreign agent in the United States acting on behalf of Somalia, okay? It seems as if she's putting Somalia's best interest over America's best interest, and she's essentially admitting that in a speech that she gave to a bunch of Somali Americans in Minneapolis. And again, this is going viral because her comments are very disturbing if the translation is accurate here. So any conservative Somalians, right, in my comment section, please let me know if the translation of what she's saying is actually accurate. Okay, we're going to play her speech and you guys can read along in regards to what she's allegedly saying. But it seems to me that she is talking about a territorial land dispute between Ethiopia, Kenya, Somalia, and Somaliland, which I believe is like an unrecognized territory, okay? So, you know, this bit of politics is beyond me because I'm not an expert in Africa, right? But anyways, regardless, it seems as if she wants to weaponize the U.S. government to act on behalf of Somalians, right? A foreign country. Which, in my opinion, I'm sick and tired of saying this, whether it be China, Ukraine, Israel, Palestine, Somalia. I don't care what country it is, right? I'm sick and tired of seeing politicians put the best interests of other countries ahead of the United States, right? I don't care what country it is. I'm sick and tired of it, okay? I think that we should put America first, and anybody that's not America first, I think, should not be in Congress, right? I'm keeping it all the way 100 with you. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get into this kind of insane speech here that Ilhan Omar is catching a whole lot of backlash over.
annaga haddii aan nahay dad Soomaali ah waxaan nahay dad isjecel waa laga yaabaa meelaha qaarkood inaan isku xagxagano laakiin haddii runtii ay imaato waxaan nahay dad isku tashto dad walaalo ah dad dhiig leh dad isku og inay Soomaali yihiin inay Muslim yihiin oo iyagana isku hiiliya dadka walaalahoodna u hiiliya marka daraad markii ayaan dhaxdaas markii aan maqalnay in qaar Soomaali ah ama Soomaali sheegato in Ethiopia ay la galeen ma baqaan af Soomaali wixii lagu dhaho agreement heshiis Mahmoud Noor had aniga Soomaaliga badiyo soo ceeb ma aha.
I don't know about you guys, but I think it should be a requirement for our Congress men and women to give speeches in English, right? I really think that should be a requirement, okay? I don't want to sit here and have to interpret, okay, and read subtitles to understand an American politician, right? I think that English should be required when you're giving a public speech. You have to speak English so that everybody can know what the hell you're talking about, okay? I'm just keeping it all the way 100 with you.
dad badan ay soo wacay oo waxay leeyihiin Ilhaan dawladda Mareykanka inaan la hadashid waaye dawladda Mareykanka maxay ka qabanaysaa jawaabteedu waxay ahayd dawladda Mareykanka waxay ka qabanaysaa wixii annaga aan dhahno dawladda Mareykanka qabo waa kalsoonidaas inaan isku qabno annaga Soomaali haddii aan nahay wadankan annaga ku nool wadankii aan annaga tax ka dhiibno waaye waa wadankii gabar idinka dhalatayne ee Congress-ka fadhiso.
So basically what she's saying is that Somalis have called her up and said, hey, we need you to speak to the American government in order to thwart this deal that is happening between Somaliland, which I believe they have breaking off from Somalia, I guess. Okay, and they're allowing access to the sea to Ethiopia, which apparently is against the interest of Somalia, right? And basically what Ilhan Omar is saying is that, well, the U.S. government is only going to act if the Somalis here in the United States who pay taxes, make their voices heard, okay? If they speak out about it and they essentially lobby the government to get involved in another country's conflict, then that's what the U.S. government will do, right? They must listen to the Somalis here in the United States. Now, I'm not sure how many of them are actually here, but apparently she believes that they have enough power to lobby the U.S. to act in Somalia's best interest. Now, whether or not that's in America's best interest, it's not like Ilhan Omar is really making that case, right? She's actually really making a case that is in the best interest of Somalia, and she's in Congress to represent the interest of Somalia, not of America. And that's my problem. If this speech, this translation is accurate, which I have no reason to believe that it's not, but I'm just saying, right? We have to have a caveat here because this is allegedly what she's saying. But yeah, I mean, this is very, very, very disturbing. And again, I'm not just applying this to her. I'm applying this to any country. I don't care what country it is. You need to be acting on behalf of America first. I have no issues. See, this is the thing. People think America first is being super isolationist. No, it's not about me being super isolationist. I'm not an isolationist. I do think that the American government should pick and choose which foreign conflicts we get involved in based off whether or not it suits our interests. And I'm talking about the interest of the American people, not the interest of big corporate America, right? Because that's why we're involved in all these conflicts, because we don't fight wars for freedom and democracy anymore. We used to back in the day, right? But now we don't. We fight wars for opening up markets and corporate interests, right? This is what we fight wars for. And quite honestly, I'm sick and tired of that. Right? So when we're talking about getting involved in a foreign conflict, you have to ask yourself, okay, is this in the best interest of the American people? Okay? This is what you have to ask yourself. And if it is, if you can make a case that it is, then I'll say, okay, yeah, we should intervene and get involved. But if it's not in the best interest of America, right, and you need to make an argument to me, why should America get involved in this? Then, you know, hey, I'm just saying, I don't think we should get involved. And this is, again, not something that is foreign to America, okay? Because before World War I, America was pretty much isolationist, okay? We were like, we're not really going to get involved in these foreign conflicts, okay? It took a lot to drag us into the world wars for a reason, because our leaders back then didn't want us to be involved in everybody else's conflict, okay? We took care of ourselves, and I think that we should get back to that. Now, we only get involved if it's absolutely necessary, okay? But that's just my opinion. I don't think America first is super isolationist like some people try to make it out to be. It's not. It just means that we don't need to just be getting involved in everybody else's business that, you know, we really don't benefit from. And in the case of Somalia, from my research, we have very minor kind of trade agreements with them. Okay, so even if we cut off trade with Somalia, it would not hurt the United States at all. But what we do is that we export arms to Somalia, to their army. We're actually the main supplier of their army. So again, lo and behold, what I tell you guys before, in regards to, you know, a lot of these countries and their dependency on the United States, well, they depend on our weapons, right? So we ship them weapons, we pledge weapons to them for them to be able to fight wars, right? So I'm assuming that's what Ilhan Omar advocates for, right? She's basically advocating for the United States to continue to militarily support Somalia. And our relations with them have kind of opened back up since they selected a dual citizen Somali American president in their country, right? So that's kind of the gist of the American interest in Somalia, is that, well, they buy weapons, right? I mean, you know, and that's just kind of what it is.
intii aniga aan Congress joogo wadanka Soomaaliya biyaheeda dad kaleeta iyo badeeda dad kale ma qaadanayaan. wadanka Mareykankana kuma taageerayo dad kaleeta in annaga ayna dhacaan. marka taas ka seexda reer Minnesota.
Wow, she just said, allegedly, she said that I am here to protect the interests of Somalia from within the United States. I'm just saying, right? I want to hear the argument from Ilhan Omar. How is it in America's best interest to worry about what's happening in Somalia, right? That's the argument that I want to hear. Okay, but that's not what I'm hearing. What I'm hearing is that, well, I'm a foreign agent, right? That's what it sounds like to me, right? That's what it sounds like to me. I'm just saying, I need a conservative Somalian to translate this. Tell me if this is misinformation, okay? Please tell me, okay? Because this is what is floating around on the internet in regards to what she's allegedly saying, right? It sounds to me like she's not really working on behalf of America as much as she's working on behalf of another country.
gabadhii Congress u dirsateen way idinka warhaysaa sidaad idinka u dareemaysiin dantaas ay u dareemeen madaxweyne Xasan Sheekhna waxaan leeyahay waan kugu faraxsanahay shaqada fiican aad qabatay in dadka Soomaaliya iyo dadka meel kasta ku nool aad dareensiisay si kasta anaga aan u dhibanahay Soomaali hadii aan nahay waxaan nahay dad karti leh dad wadankooda aqoonsan dad wadankoodii aan weligood danger laga gelin karin marka waxaan reer Minnesota iyo Soomaalida meel kasta ku nool adeerkaya hadda mar dhow ka hadlaayay idinkaga hambalyeynaya sida aad isku wada duuban tihiin sida aad kulligiin u garab istaagteen madaxweynaheena because wuu u baahan yahay in kulligeen aan garab istaagno Soomaaliya waa Soomaaliya waa hal walaalaan wada nahay dhulkeena lagama kala qaybsanaayo dhulal baa naga maqan aan raadsanaynaa insha Allah mar maalinta laakiin inta aan haysana hadda lama kala qaybinaayo marka waa mahadsantihiin dhamaantiin sidaad ii sharaftiin oo markasta aad iigu soo dhawaysiin ilaahay idin sharfo assalaamu calaykum waraxmatullaahi wabarakaatuh
wow incredible so hey I'm just saying, we need a confirmation of the translation there, but to me, she sounds like a foreign agent, right? That's disturbing, okay? That's extremely disturbing, but she's come out and she's responded to the backlash that she's getting from conservatives on social media who are rightfully questioning her allegiance, right? Who are you aligned with? Are you here on behalf of Somalia or are you working on behalf of America? To me, it sounds like she's working on behalf of another country. Let's read here. Rep. Ilhan Omar was harshly criticized by conservatives on social media Sunday after a video was shared showing her speaking about her support for Somalia, the nation from which she hails. In the video, the liberal Minnesota leader was addressing a crowd in a Minneapolis hotel when she spoke about Somaliland and the unrecognized state's deal with Ethiopia, which Somalia alleges infringes on its territory. The video shared to X contains an English translation, which has not yet been verified by the Washington Examiner. However, Omar's response to the controversy lends credence to the translation being at least largely accurate. The translation includes Omar stating she's in Congress to represent Somali Americans' interests and that the U.S. will do what we want and nothing else. Again, I'm not sure exactly why she believes that Somalians or Somalia has influence over the United States of America, right? Again, I want to hear the argument for why this is good for America to get involved in this foreign conflict, which seems to be what she's advocating for. While it appears Omar was speaking to a largely Somali American crowd and showing support for her constituents and their motherland, many prominent users on X took issue with the video. Rep. Marjorie Taylor Greene, often a critic of Omar, wrote that the Democratic squad member flaunts using her position as a congresswoman to protect Somalia's border while our border is invaded by millions of illegals who are a danger to America, stressing the need for citizens to vote in November. Well, I mean, she has a point in the sense that, I don't understand why you're worried about another country's borders, right? When our border has problems, okay? Again, I apply the same logic to Ukraine. I apply the same logic to other countries' borders, okay? I'm not showing any type of special treatment to any country's borders, right? Nobody's borders should be prioritized over our borders, period. I don't care what country it is. Responding to an Israel War Room page post of the video, former Republican Virginia Rep. Denver Riggleman wrote, quote, Ilhan Omar is a disgraceful representative. Many other prominent conservatives directed their ear at the Minnesota lawmaker. Omar responded to the controversy by replying to a comment on the clip in which a researcher wrote, quote, this interpretation is slanted. Omar says she is representing the interests of Somalis in the United States, which is a legitimate task as a congresswoman in any democratic system. She says at the end that all the 5 territories will be liberated, but it appears rhetorical. Okay, so again, I don't think that it's legitimate to represent the interests of Somalis, right? I'm just saying. I mean, look, at the end of the day, if the Somalis and their interests lies with their home country, then, maybe they should take that up in their own home country, right? Take up that issue in your home country. But here in the United States, you know, I don't care where you're from. Your interest should be the United States. If you're an American citizen, your interest should be what is best for America, not what's best for your home country. Because if you're concerned about what's best for your home country, then you should take that up in your home country, okay? I'm just saying, I don't care what country it is. The United States is not your tool to help your home country, right? No. That's not how this works. Quote, it's not only slanted, but completely off, but I wouldn't expect more from these propagandists, Omar wrote in response. I pray for them and for their sanity. No nation state can survive if its states start to get involved in land lease negotiations with other countries without the consent of the federal government. Somalis in Somalia and in the diaspora are united in that effort, and I stand in solidarity with them. No amount of harassment and lies will ever change that. Yeah, so it sounds to me like this translation is accurate, right? That's what it sounds like to me. She's not denying that she said the things that she said. She's just trying to say that it's misinterpreted. I'm not sure how it's misinterpreted when you're confirming that, hey, my interest lies in Somalia, right? And I want to weaponize the U.S. government to get involved in a foreign conflict that doesn't have anything to do with the United States. Again, it's amazing, absolutely amazing. The Minnesota Democrat was referring to Ethiopia's memorandum of understanding with Somaliland, a breakaway region of Somalia in which Somaliland agreed to lease part of its coastline to Ethiopia, a landlocked country. Somali President Hassan Sheikh Mohammed told Al Jazeera that Ethiopian assets would have to cross into Somalia's territory to get to the leased area, and if they do, it will be a problem at a different level. Again, I'm trying to figure out how is the U.S. government involved in this, okay? I'm just saying, right? Somebody make that argument to me. Maybe I'm ignorant about this conflict. Maybe we do have something to do with it. I'm not entirely sure, right? But somebody needs to educate me on what does the U.S. government have to do with this, okay? Why should we care about this, okay? Somebody make that argument to me. But until then, I don't think this is something we should get involved in. And Ilhan Omar is facing a whole lot of calls for her to be expelled from Congress for this speech. Obviously, clearly she won't be, right? Because Democrats never expel their own, no matter what they do. I mean, look, Bob Menendez is still in Congress, right? Republicans kicked out George Santos, and he hasn't been convicted of any crimes. But Bob Menendez, who's under active DOJ investigation, who's been indicted, nothing's happened to him, right? Republicans aren't trying to expel him from the Senate. Again, it's amazing how that works. So I wouldn't expect Ilhan Omar to face any consequences for this speech, right? Mainly because Republicans are weak. But, you know, regardless, again, it is disturbing that we have so many politicians in this country, whether it be Ilhan Omar or others, that seem to be putting foreign countries first over the American people, and they want to weaponize the American government, spend the Americans' taxpayer dollars into shed American blood over another country's interests and conflicts. It's really a shame. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.